Hello everyone, my name is Samar Absurdana and today we will cover Unit 2 on page 22 from the reading scale Q Skills for Success Level 1. Reading 1 The World in a City. Starting with the vocabulary exercise, as you can see, you need to read the definitions, then complete each sentence. Match the correct word with the correct sentence. Let's read the definitions first. Celebrate, to do something special on an important day. International, adjective, between different countries. Market, noun, a place where people go to buy and sell things, usually outside. Million, a number, the number 1 million. Neighborhood, noun, a part of a town or city, the people who live there. Population, noun, the number of people who live in a place. Sights, noun, interesting places to see. And here are the correct answers. Sentence 1. Many people buy vegetables and fruits at their local market, which is a noun. As you can see here, in the answer key, the words are not clear. It's this one. Yes. So number 1 is market. Number 2, people from many different countries live and work in Dubai. It is an international city. International. 3, Riyadh is a large city. About 4 million people live there. Million. 4, people in this country don't have many children. The population is going down. 5, I want to live in this neighborhood. The houses and schools are very nice. 6, we celebrate the new year with special food and fireworks. Celebrate. 7, there are many famous sights to see in London, like the Tower of London. Moving on to page 23. Activity C. You need to review the text first, read the title, the subheadings and captions, and then what does the website say about London? Check the answer. By reviewing the test, you will be able to know that the correct answer is this. People in London come from many different countries. So you check this box. Moving on to the reading section, The World in a City. London. Do you plan to visit London? There are many English sights to see, but there are many international sights, sounds and foods too. London is a city with many different groups of people. In a visit to London, you see the world. Population. The population of the city of London is about 8 million. Over 3 million of these people are from other countries. In London, you can hear over 300 languages spoken. Eat. There is food from more than 55 different countries in London's restaurants. There is even food from countries such as Tanzania, Peru, and Mongolia. At food markets, you can buy vegetables and fruits from all over the world. You can look at the picture, which is a street in London, and the caption says, the following are the top 10 countries of birth, which is a country a person is born in, for today's immigrants in London: India, Poland, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Ireland, Sri Lanka, Jamaica, Pakistan, South Africa, and Germany. Moving on to the next page, paragraph 4, visit. People from many countries live and work in the neighborhoods of London. You can go to the neighborhoods to see interesting people, shops, restaurants, and events from all over the world. London also has more than 240 museums. Go to the museums to see old and new art from many different countries. Finally, celebrate. London has many international festivals with food, music, art, and dance. In the winter, you can celebrate Chinese New Year. In early spring, you can celebrate the Russian end of winter. In the summer, you can go to one of the largest Caribbean festivals in the world. In the fall, you can enjoy the Indian Festival of Lights. Moving on to activity B. According to the website, what are 5 activities that you can do to see the world in London, check your answers. The 5 activities are: eat in a restaurant, check; go to a food market, check; go to a festival, check; go to museums, check; and visit the neighborhoods, check. Activity C. Read the statements, write true or if false, then correct the false statements. Number 1. About 3 million people live in London. False. You need to correct it. About 8 million. 8, not 3. Number 2. About 1 million Londoners were born outside of London. False. And the correct answer is over 3 million. 3. People in London speak over 300 languages. True. 4. There is food from more than 65 countries in London's restaurants. False. There is food from more than 55, not 65. 5. Poland is the number 1 country of birth of today's London immigrants. False. It's India, not Poland. 6. In London museums, you can see things from all over the world. True. Moving on to activity D. Where is this information on the website? Write the correct paragraph number next to each statement. So you need to write the correct paragraph number next to each statement where it was mentioned. The correct answers are as follows. London is a city with many things to see. This is mentioned in paragraph 1, so you write here 1. There is food from all around the world in London. Paragraph 3. There are great neighborhoods in London. Paragraph 4. There are interesting festivals all year long. Paragraph 5. The people in London come from many countries. Paragraph 2. London has many museums. Paragraph 4. Moving on. Page 26. Exercise E. What did you learn about London in reading 1? Write 1 sentence in your own words about each topic. So students need to write sentences in their own words. These are sample examples, and answers will vary based on every student. About the people, for example, you may say there are many different people in London. About the food, the restaurants have foods from many different countries. About the neighborhoods in London have a lot to offer. About the festivals, London has a lot of international festivals. Remember, these are samples and you need to use your own words. Moving on to the write what you think section. First, you need to think about your city or town. How international is it? Are there international restaurants and festivals? Are there international museums? Do people from different countries live in your city or town? And B, think about the immigrants, the people in your city or town. Where are they from? What neighborhoods do they live in? What do you know about the immigrants, people from other countries in your area? After that, choose the questions from A or B and write a response. Look back at your quick write on page 23 as you think about what you learned. So you either choose question A or question B, write it here. Remember, you need to write what you think. These are example answers, and answers will vary based on each student. Now, an example answer for question A. My city is very international. We have museums for many different countries. There are a lot of immigrants in my city. It depends on what city you live in. And a possible answer for question B. There are many immigrants from all over the world. There are a lot of Italian immigrants. They live all around my city. I do not know a lot about the immigrants in my neighborhood, but I would like to learn more. Moving on to page 27, reading 2, immigrant stories. Starting with activity A, vocabulary. Here are some words from reading 2. Read the sentences, then write each underlined word next to the correct definition. So basically you need to match each word with its definition. Let's read the sentences fast. I am so excited I have the opportunity to go to London this year. 2. John doesn't have any friends. He is lonely. 3. I work in a restaurant now, but I want to have my own restaurant. 4. Children need their parents to support them. They need food, money, and love, and many other things. 5. 1 year is not enough. You need several years to make a new life in a new country. 6. Many people from Jamaica live in London. They have a large community there. These are the correct answers. Definition A. Support, verb, to help someone to live by giving them things like money, a home, or food. Definition B. Community, noun, a group of people who are together, for example, because they have the same interests or background. C. Opportunity, noun, a chance to do something. D. Lonely, adjective, unhappy because you are not with other people. E. On, adjective, belonging to a particular person. F. Several, adjective, more than two but not many. Moving on to the next page, page 28. Before the reading, we have a reading skill, skimming for the main idea. To look up the main idea in an article or a paragraph. Skimming is reading a text quickly to find the main idea. People often skim articles online, in newspapers, or in magazines. They look quickly at all sections of the article to get the main idea. Then they decide if they want to take more time to read the article carefully. Skimming is useful when you want to get a quick idea of the reading. Here are some tips to help you skim for the main idea. Read the title, read the headings of each section, read the first and last sentences of each paragraph. Often, the main idea is at the beginning or end of a paragraph. So, by skimming reading to immigrant stories, you will be able to answer this activity. Skim the article and write true or false. Number 1. The three immigrants are from different countries. True. Number 2. The three immigrants all live in England. True. Number 3. The three immigrants are students. False. Moving on to the reading section. Immigrant stories. Immigrants in London. Why are they in London? Are they happy to live there, to live here? Do they plan to stay? Read their stories and find the answers. Story 1. Sun Yang Wang. My name is Sun Yang Wang. I am from a small town near Hong Kong. In 1965, there weren't many jobs there. There were many job opportunities in London, so I came to London. I was 20 years old. I had many problems at first. I didn't speak English. The weather was cold and rainy. I was lonely because my family didn't come with me, but there were good things about living in London. There were many jobs with good pay. I got my first job in a Chinese restaurant. Now I have my own restaurant. I work there with my wife. She is also Chinese. Her English is good, so she speaks to the customers. I am the chef. We work very hard. We have 3 children. They have good jobs. They do not want to live in Hong Kong. My wife and I don't know anyone in Hong Kong now. Our life is here. This is our home. Story 2. Bashir Ali. My name is Bashir Ali. I am from a small town in Bangladesh. I came to England in 1985 with my wife and 2 small children. I was 25 years old. I immigrated to England to give my family a better life. My first job in England was in a factory. At night, I went to school. I studied English and business on nights and weekends. Now I have my own business. I sell clothing from Bangladesh. My business is very successful. I have several clothing stores. I try to help my people in London. I give English classes at my stores for the Bangladeshi community. I send money to my relatives and my town in Bangladesh. I support a children's language school there. I have good children. They work in my company. They keep Bangladeshi ways in their families. They are successful in England, but they are still Bangladeshi in their hearts. Story 3, Apara Asuko. My name is Apara Asuko. I am from Lagos, Nigeria. I came to London in 2008 with my husband. I was 45 years old. My husband works for an international bank here in London. He worked in an office of the same bank in Nigeria. We moved here for his career. I was a successful businesswoman in my country, but I had no success finding a job here in London. After 2 years, my husband said, "This is a different country. This is your new life. You need to start from the beginning again." So I got from the beginning again. So I got a job as an office worker. The pay isn't very good, but I like the people. Our children go to university in England. My husband and I plan to return to Nigeria, but our children plan to stay here. They have many opportunities here. It is always sad to say goodbye, but for my husband and me, Nigeria is our home. Moving on to activity B. Circle the answer to each question, either yes or no. Sun Young Weng, question 1. Is he happy living in England? Yes. 2. Does he plan to stay? Yes. Bashir Ali, 3. Is he happy living in England? Yes. Does he plan to stay? Yes. Apara Asuko, is she happy living in England? No. Does she plan to stay? No. Moving on. Activity C. What do we know about each person? Check the statements you know to be true. Here are the correct answers. What do we know about Sun Yang Weng? We know he is from Hong Kong. Check. He came to London alone. Check. He is married. Check. So check these 3. 2. What do we know about Bashir Ali? He is from a small town in Bangladesh. Check. He came to England with his family. Check. He learned English in school in England. Check. Again, the first 3. 3. What do we know about Apara Asuko? She works in a bank. No. She has 5 children. No. She was successful in Nigeria. Check. She came with her husband. Check. She misses Nigeria. Check. The last 3 statements. Moving on to activity D. Read the stories again. Check the problems and successes of each immigrant. You may check more than one person for each statement. Here are the correct answers. I was lonely. Sun Yang Weng. Check. 2. I didn't find a good job. Apara Asuko. Check. 3. There were no good jobs. Apara Asuko. Check. 4. I was sad without my family. Sun Yang Weng. Check. 5. I have a business in England. Sun Yang Weng and Bashir Ali. Check. 6. I help my community. Bashir Ali. Check. 7. My children go to university in England. Apara Asuko. Check. 8. My children have good jobs. Sun Yang Weng. Check. And Bashir Ali. Check. Moving on to page 32. Activity E. What do you think? Circle your answer. Find an example from the article to support your answer. So, question 1. Is it better to immigrate when you are young? Now, remember, it's an opinion question. What do you think? So, answers will vary. If you think it's important, answer yes. If you think it's not important, answer with no. It's up to you. Examples. No. Example from the reading. You need to provide an example from the reading to support your answer, either if it's yes or no. 1. No, Sun Yat-sen had many problems when he immigrated when he was 20 years old. 2. Is it easier to immigrate with family? For example, yes, Bashir Ali's children are successful. 3. Is it important to learn the language of the new country? For example, yes, it was hard for Sun Yat-sen because he didn't know English. Next, write what you think. Discuss the questions in a group. Look back at your quick write on page 28 as you think about what you learned. In activity D on page 31, numbers 1 to 4 tell about problems immigrants have in London. What problems do immigrants have where you live? 2. In activity D on page 31, numbers 5 to 8 tell about successes London immigrants have. What are the successes of immigrants where you live? So you need to write your opinion. Answers will vary, and the following answers are samples or examples. Number 1, some of the immigrants in my community, find it difficult to get a job, for example. They may also miss their families. And an example answer for number 2, many of the immigrants where I live have families and own their own businesses. Moving on, page 33, vocabulary skill. Before the vocabulary skill, we have another activity. Think about the unit video, reading 1 and reading 2 as you discuss the question. Then choose one question and write a response. Is immigration good for countries like England? How do immigrants help a country? What are some problems with immigrations? So, you need to choose only one question and write a response. What you think? Vocabulary skill, word roots. The root of a word is the part of a word with the basic meaning. Like lone is a root in the following words: alone, lonely, loneliness. The root is lone, which means without another person. The meaning of each of the words relates to the basic meaning. Learning roots can increase your vocabulary and help you guess the meaning of a new word in a text. In activity A, these words from the unit have word roots in bold. The word root is written in bold. Match each word root with its definition. Factory, fac, immigrate, migrate or migra, international, nat, population, and the root is pop. Now the correct answers are word roots. Number 1, nat with C. It means to be born or come from. As you can see, this root, we can find it in international. 2, pop means people. We can find the root in population. 3, fac means to do or make. We can find the root in factory. 4, migra, D, to move. We can find the root in immigrate. Moving on to activity B. Here are more words with the same roots. Match each word with its definition. Immigrate with D, to leave your country for another country. Native with A, belonging to a place from birth. Population with B, to fill an area with people. Manufacture with C, to make things using machines. That's it, everyone. Thank you for listening and stay safe.